This video covers the installation of the Recoup Pipe HEX Active and Pipe HEX RD Active models to support sections 3 and 4 of the installation manuals, which should be read in full before starting installation. Ensure the hot and cold water systems are installed to suit System A, B or C installation layout as specified by M&E drawings or SAP calculations. System A supplies preheated water to the shower cold feed and the water heater. System B supplies preheated water to the shower cold feed only, and System C supplies preheated water to the water heater only. Refer to the installation methods for more information about the requirements of each layout. The water heater can be a combination boiler, cylinder with any heat source including heat pumps, a heat interface unit, or thermal store, but in all cases the connected shower should incorporate thermostatic mixer control. The Pipe HEX Active is supplied in two boxes, the long box containing the main pipe unit and the small box containing the installation kit and pump. Check for damage to the components as you familiarise yourself with them and their positioning within the installation. If damage has occurred during transport, do not fit the unit and return it to the merchant for replacement. To complete the installation, you will need some additional components that are not supplied within the boxes. 2 full flow shut-off valves, a double check valve, a drain-off valve, 2 1/2-inch Mayerline BSP threaded connectors, and a 21.5mm straight coupling. If you plan to run 22mm diameter pipework to and from the unit, then consider using 22mm valves to maintain the larger pipe diameter and reduce the pipe size as close as possible to the unit. Ensure the soil pipe connection for the wastewater outlet is low enough to allow for the overall installation height required. With the soil pipe connector in place, you can mark the mounting bracket fixing positions. If the installation space suits, then the waste outlet connection can be made tight to the soil pipe connector, keeping boxing size to a minimum. Assembled, the coupling insert, 90° coupling sleeve, and 50mm reducer measure 118mm from the centre of the Pipe HEX Active and the mounting brackets to the end of the reducer. This measurement can be marked on the wall, measuring from the face of the soil pipe connection. From this mark, draw a vertical fixing line for the Pipe HEX Active mounting brackets. With the outlet connectors assembled, the measurement from the centre of the waste outlet up to the bottom bracket fixing point is 387mm. Measuring from the centre of the soil connection, mark this on the vertical fixing line. The top bracket position can then be measured from the bottom bracket mark on the vertical fixing line. The centres between the two brackets are 600mm less than the main pipe section length, at 300mm from each end. So, for the regular Pipe HEX Active, the fixing centres are 1500mm. And for the HEX RD Active model, the mounting bracket centres are 1100mm. Install the mounting brackets to the marked positions using suitable wall fixings. Timber battens may be required to provide additional fixing strength or to position the Pipe HEX Active main unit to match the centre of the soil vent pipe from the wall. Remember that these bracket measurements are for installing the unit as close as possible to the soil pipe. If the Pipe HEX Active main unit is to be installed further from the soil pipe, then the bracket height measurements should increase to allow a 3% full gradient from the wastewater outlet to the soil pipe connection. The end connections of the Pipe HEX Active main section are the same, meaning it can be mounted either way up in the brackets before adding the end connections. The cold mains inlet and the preheated outlet are both 1/2-inch female BSP parallel threads. Remove the red dust caps from these connections and connect suitable 1/2-inch male BSP parallel threaded connectors. Care should be taken to not cross-thread these connections, tightening to a maximum of 30 Newton meters. A suitable RAS-approved thread sealant should be used, and a liquid sealant is highly recommended. Installing these while the Pipe HEX Active main unit is still in the box will help prevent the risk of damage or cause undue strain on the mounting brackets. Using push-fit half-inch male iron BSP connectors can help prevent over-tightening of the threaded connector when connecting pipework. With the mounting brackets in the open position and the cardboard end protector still in place, lift the Pipe HEX Active into location, being careful not to drop or hit the unit on the floor or surroundings. Raise the unit so 300mm is extending past the top bracket and tighten the mounting bracket screws. Check the unit is vertical and adjust if necessary. This ensures consistent wastewater contact down the length of the heat exchanger. If removing the Pipe HEX Active to adjust the brackets, ensure it is laid down on a flat horizontal surface. Leaning the unit against the wall risks damage if it were to fall or slip. Once mounted, the waste inlet and outlet connections can be made. Only remove the cardboard end protectors from the Pipe HEX Active once it is in its final position within the mounting brackets. Into the bottom of the heat exchanger unit, insert the rubber O-ring end of the coupling insert. Onto that, connect the 90-degree coupling sleeve and the 50mm reducer. The reducer can accept 43mm solvent weld or 40mm push-fit waste pipe. If the Pipe HEX Active is mounted close to the soil pipe, you may need to loosen the bottom bracket to insert the waste pipe. Ensure you support the weight of the Pipe HEX Active. Do not rely on the top bracket alone to support the weight. Install the supplied active buffer to the top of the Pipe HEX Active by simply pushing in the 50mm O-ring connection. If space above is restricted, you may need to install the active buffer before connecting the waste outlet at the bottom. Slightly loosening the mounting brackets will allow the Pipe HEX Active to be dropped down to give space to fit the buffer. Prepare the saline shower pump for installation by securing the floor mounting brackets to the underside using the screws provided, and by securing the inlet and outlet connections using appropriately sized Jubilee clips, also provided within the saline shower box. The inlet connector is supplied with a blanked off end. This must be cut out to allow the waste pipe to be inserted. The shower trap should be positioned no more than 2 meters from the pump and the tray raised to ensure a minimum waste pipe fall gradient of 3%. The pump should also be positioned no more than 1 meter horizontally from the active buffer connection, giving a total maximum distance between the Pipe HEX Active and the shower trap of 3 meters. Once happy with the positioning, secure the pump to the floor through the floor mounting brackets using appropriate fixings. The electrical connection should be carried out by a qualified person. Follow the information in the saline shower flat pump instructions and the important additional information supplied with the pump. Install the shower trap to the tray as detailed in the saline shower flat instructions. Connect the shower trap to the pump. The supplied saline shower flat trap can be connected using 32mm external diameter pipe and fittings. However, to use standard UK 32mm solvent weld waste pipe, an adapter will be required to glue directly into the trap outlet. The pump outlet connection incorporates a non-return discharge valve. It is important that the pipework does not interfere with this valve. Insert a 21.5mm straight coupling to the stop point to make sure the valve is not obstructed. Secure with the appropriate Jubilee clip and solvent weld the required pipework and fittings between this coupling and the inlet connection of the Pipe HEX Active buffer. If the pump is positioned away from the Pipe HEX Active main unit, pipe configuration A or B shown in the diagram should be used with 135-degree connectors. Any required horizontal travel needs to start at the highest possible point. With all Recoup wastewater heat recovery systems, the cold mains water flow must be in the opposite direction to the wastewater flow. So, the cold mains water connection is at the bottom of the pipe hex and the preheated water outlet at the top. The cold mains water pipework must be installed with a full bore shutoff valve, double check valve and a drain off valve. These are not supplied with the Pipe HEX Active, but must be installed for backflow prevention and to facilitate isolation and draining of the unit. If using compression fittings, make sure to support the fittings when tightening to ensure the threaded connections into the pipe hex are not strained. If using soldered fittings, do not heat any pipework connected to the Pipe HEX Active unit. The preheated pipework must be installed with a full bore shutoff valve, also not supplied, fitted close to the outlet connection. As with the cold water mains pipework, support compression fittings as you tighten, and again, do not solder close to the Pipe HEX Active. Best practice suggests the use of copper pipework for preheated water. If installing a system A or B, the linear length of pipework between the wastewater heat recovery system and the thermostatic shower cold inlet should be no more than 4.75 metres in 15mm diameter pipe. All preheated water pipework must be insulated for its entire length and be labelled as preheated water to prevent future cross-connection of services. Recoup preheat supply tape is available for this. The main Pipe HEX Active unit must not be insulated, and any sound insulation applied to the soil vent pipe must be kept separate to the Pipe HEX Active. This can be achieved by using a 9mm board placed between the Pipe HEX Active and the soil vent pipe insulation. Please ensure that this information is passed on to the person who is boxing in the installation. Access panels could be installed for maintenance or replacement of valves, or where possible, locate valves in an accessible location close to the wastewater heat recovery system. The Pipe HEX Active and installation pipework should be pressure tested before any boxing is fitted. The maximum test pressure for the Pipe HEX Active is 10 bar. If the system pipework requires testing above this, then the Pipe HEX Active must be isolated using the inlet and outlet full bore isolation valves at 10 bar before further increasing the system pressure. Make sure that you release any increased pressure from the system pipework before turning the valves back on again. Once fully tested, water can be introduced and the air purged from the wastewater heat recovery system. Ensure the SAP label is applied onto or near the water heater and that the installation is registered on our website. With every system type and every unit type, the following key points must be observed. Follow the specified system configuration of A, B or C. Failure to do so could mean the installation does not meet the requirements of SAP calculations. Install onto a mains pressurized system with the water heater able to accept preheated cold water. Connected showers must be thermostatic mixer showers with balanced pressure supplies. Preheated water pipework must be insulated and labelled for its entire length and be no longer than 4.75 metres between the wastewater heat recovery system and the shower. Do not insulate the wastewater heat recovery unit itself. Prevent wastewater heat recovery systems being heated above 25 degrees Celsius, both by external sources and ambient temperature. All units must be installed within the thermal envelope of the property. Ensure preheated pipework supplies the shower and/or the water heater only. Ensure the SAP label is applied onto or near the water heater and that the installation is registered on our website.